This headline says, "Great news, Democrats. Republicans say you can ignore the Supreme Court." Yep. And do you think this isn't going to be a tit for tat thing? Oh, it absolutely is. And as much as I don't agree with the Supreme Court's decision, I think they're using this to bring in the lawlessness and confusion. Who's the author of confusion? Why, that's Satan himself. Now, do I think everything is corrupt? Absolutely, including the Supreme Court. But this could really get bad. And I know people were talking about civil war, and if they wanted to trigger a civil war, this could be it. In an incredible development, Republicans are cheering a governor's decision to ignore a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court, which has a 6-3 conservative supermajority. So even though, of course, most Supreme Court justices are conservative, and you would think that they would rule more conservatively than they do, they don't. It's by design. It's something of a throwback. Before the Civil War, states sometimes argued they did not have to abide by federal laws, but as the Constitution has stated from the beginning, federal laws have supremacy over state laws. Moreover, states must abide by federal court rulings. But this week, 25 Republican governors signed a letter supporting Texas Governor Greg Abbott's refusal to follow a U.S. Supreme Court decision allowing the federal government to remove razor wire Abbott ordered installed at the southern border. The letter states in part, "The authors of the U.S. Constitution made clear that in times like this, states have a right to self-defense under Article 4, Section 4, and Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the U.S. Constitution because the Biden administration has abdicated its constitutional compact duties to the states. Texas has every legal justification to protect the sovereignty of our states and our nation." Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt put the matter more bluntly during a Friday appearance on CNN. While we all agree that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and if the Supreme Court gets something wrong, for example, if they try to ban and say that we didn't have a Second Amendment right to bear arms, I think the Constitution supersedes somebody in Washington, D.C. telling us, The beauty of rebutting these arguments is that to do so, you don't have to be a constitutional scholar or a lawyer of any kind. The nation's highest court has ruled. Texas lost, and Texas must abide by the decision. The end. Because if that's not the end, and if this is really the road these Republican governors want to set us down, there is absolutely nothing stopping Democratic governors or Democratic presidents from ignoring federal court rulings they think are constitutionally unsound. And do you think for a minute they won't? They absolutely will. If Texas is going to ignore this ruling, then New York State can thumb its nose at the court's decision in Bruin. Colorado can memory hole 303 creative. Washington State can tear up Bremerton. Biden can reinstate his student loan debt canceling program the court struck down in Biden versus Nebraska. On and on it could go, up to and including and well past Biden ignoring a much anticipated decision in which the court is expected to kneecap federal regulators. And that's what's going to go on. It wouldn't surprise me, not in the least. Conservatives might counter by saying these cases do not compare to the situation at the border, which they argue amounts to an invasion. Such an invasion, they argue, entitles states to defend themselves under the Constitution. But here's the thing. They can cite article this and a section that of the Constitution until the heat death of the universe. But it doesn't matter how right they think they are. Texas is rejecting a Supreme Court decision and is being supported in that effort by half of the states in the Union. Whether the case is about the southern border or whether a fish is a tangible object, ignoring a ruling is ignoring a ruling. And if Republicans can do it, so can Democrats. And here we go. I can see this getting bad. I don't see this just blowing over. How is it going to just blow over? But I guess we'll see how it unfolds. As always, put your faith and trust in Jesus, repent of your sins, and have a blessed day.